a warm welcome to everyone on the webinar today. Before we get started with the content, I just want to go through a few housekeeping items. You will be muted throughout the presentation. However, we do encourage you to ask questions through that question sections on the GoToWebinar panel on the right-hand side of your screen. We will answer your questions at the end of the webinar during our Q&A session. And if we don't happen to get to your question today, we will make sure to follow up directly with an email. Today's webinar is being recorded and you will have access to it following the webinar. Expect an email early next week with a copy of the recording and our partner program guide, which most of you probably have already received, which essentially is that comprehensive overview of our restructured program and all of the co-marketing activities that we offer our partners. All right, with the housekeeping out of the way, I want to wish everyone a warm welcome to our introduction to Kneat's partner program. Thank you very much for joining us today. We will be discussing how our refreshed partner program helps our partners to drive growth and increase revenue opportunities with its new structure, enhanced resources, and benefits. Before jumping into the content, I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Madison Adams, and I am the Events and Partner Marketing Manager at Kneat. I joined Kneat a little over 6 months ago earlier this year, and I collaborate with Kneat's partners on co-marketing activities that drive awareness, engagement, and opportunity for their professional services businesses. I am joined by Rick Minio, who's our Director of Kneat Academy and Strategic Partnerships. Rick, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Oh, hi, everyone. Thanks, Madison. I look forward to discussing the partnership program with everyone and hope we have a good day.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Today's webinar is going to try and keep to 45 minutes. We'll be covering Kneat's partner program and the changes that we've made to enhance the structure and benefits for you. And then we'll run through those co-marketing activities that are available to all partners to help drive awareness and revenue opportunities for your business. We have included 10 minutes for Q&A at the end of the webinar. And like I mentioned at the top of the hour, type your questions into that chat box on the side and we will get to as many of them as possible. We'll also be sure to share any of our contact details at the end if other questions come up as the presentation continues. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Rick to get started and dive into the partner program.
Hi, thanks again. Hello, everyone. And I'm going to talk about the partner program. I'm first going to go over a high-level overview of the partner program and then dive into the new, what we're calling partner classes. So as some of you may know, that the partner program was developed in 2020 with some, kind of rules and engagement type things available, but we have rebranded it, reworked it to have more specific requirements. And this is really to help us, get benefits to our partners and really get that strategic part of the partnership going. As always, it's a mutual beneficial partnership process, and we want to make sure that Kneat benefits, but also our partners get a lot of value out of this partner program. And we feel that we have a good product, and hopefully you feel the same way. And putting that great product in the hands of experts like yourselves really makes the product valuable to our customers. And that is our ultimate goal, is to bring the value to our customers and everybody involved in the program. So the program structure I'm going to talk about, and then we'll talk about some changes. So really, we had a lot of these partner, call them classes or levels in the past. They're now going to be called partner classes. And there are 4 now. It's called platform partner, implementation partner, technology, and knowledge partner. And I'll describe each one of those individually, but the idea is to allow for flexibility, allow our partners to kind of pick and choose how they want to be a partner and how they want to benefit from the partner program. We have added 2 specializations to the partner classes, and I'll talk about those, but they're called as program partner, program specialization, excuse me, and also academy specialization. So that just gives you more ranges of revenue opportunities and service that can be provided. Here's this kind of layout of all the different partner classes that we have, and the 2 specialties at the bottom, the program and the academy. So what are the benefits? And we'll go into each class and their benefits, but obviously there's a service side of things, what services you can provide to customers of your own or Kneat customers. Based on the training level and the partnership class, the revenue generations that you can get from the partnership program, things that your services you can provide, and or if you're a technology partner, maybe how you can market your product. So that's the co-marketing side of things, and we'll talk about that in specific with each of the classes. But we have opportunities to co-market and do sales with our partners going forward. And then we're also shoring up the partner support, and that's going to be done through a partner customer success manager, as well as if it's a platform partner, they will have access to customer success managers as well. And this will help with anything from technical or even logistical things that need to happen to make sure you're getting the most out of your partnership. As always, and as before, we have the Kneat Academy to help with certification. Nothing's changed on that side. There are the same levels of certification, but that is the core part of our partner program. And we have that structure in place to help you take advantage of that and get certified in the Kneat application. And then the competitive advantage of having the certifications in the partnership. We'll talk about that too. Okay, let's dive into the partner classes a little deeper. So the first one up, we'll call it the platform partner. You may be familiar with this one, but the platform partner has changed slightly, but we'll kind of talk about what it's for and who is it for if you're not familiar with it. But both this one and the implementation partner are going to be really focused on service providers or companies or contractors, consultant companies that want to give services to customers and use the Kneat application. So in this case, partner company would purchase licenses to Kneat and be able to execute projects or provide services directly to their customers using that instance. To become this platform partner, you do need power level 2, a 5 to be exact, minimum of 5 to be considered a platform partner. And that will be achieved through Kneat Academy. And then you obviously can provide all the services to customers that your certification levels grant you, as well as to have your instance for your own executions internally and externally. So we'll talk a little bit. Here's another representation of those kind of services that can be provided. What you'll notice here, it kind of groups them based on project services internally versus externally, using your internal instance versus maybe a customer's instance of Kneat. And you'll notice there's 2 red items there where, because of the certification level at the platform partner level, you won't be able to process map on a customer's instance. I kind of use the plumber analogy as if I want to do plumbing on my own house, I can go ahead and do that. I take all the risks, but if I'm going to work on my neighbor's house, I should be a licensed plumber. So it's kind of a little bit of the same idea. It doesn't mean that a platform partner can't become an implementation partner and provide those services. It just means that that's the partner class that you're at, there is some limitations on services that can be provided. So the benefits, a little bit deeper dive in that, and a lot of these are going to be a little bit repeating, so I'll just kind of go over the first one, and hopefully we can save some time going over the rest. But you do have a wide range of revenue generating services to offer. Obviously, there's the day-to-day operation type services, as well as the like a power level 1 services that you can do. And you can also execute projects on your own instance. That could be a big benefit because it can reduce your costs for the project and also give you, either A, be more competitive on your pricing, and 2, keep and or increase your profit margin for that project. Opportunities from Kneat to be referred to customers. Our referral process, you'll be on our website as well. So if customers are looking for partners that provide a specific service, then you'll be listed on the website under the platform partners, and this will be a little bit of a segregation. Our previous was just a list of logos, so now they'll be grouped per partner class. We'll keep going ongoing co-marketing and sales activities. This will be done in multiple ways, but mainly through our business review meetings that we have to make sure that we're taking advantage of any opportunities and or events that could be coming up that we want to do joint marketing for or presentations of. We'll also give early access to Kneat versions, so you'll understand what's coming up. roadmap. Even with some of our partners, if they're interested, we work with them to get feedback on the way the industry is going, so we can help influence our later versions or our roadmap, making sure that we're still the best in class from a digitalization point of view. We'll share assets for branding and stuff you can put on your social media or website, so you can advertise that you are a Kneat certified partner. So to become a platform partner, the new requirement is 5 Kneat Academy certified power user level 2s. We are upping that a little bit to make sure that there's a good basis of SMEs on your team, and then also owning the software licenses for an internal instance. To maintain the partnership, you would need to keep those 5 individuals or a minimum of 5 individuals on your team. And then the current licenses would have to be kept current, and then positive customer feedback. So we are looking to get evaluation and customer feedback procedure rolling, so we can make sure we get good information from our customers and make improvements where needed. Okay, so the next one is the implementation partner. So much like the platform partner, it is focused on the service providers, consultants type operations or businesses that would be in this kind of partnership. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're a platform partner, you can't be an implementation partner as well, but it just means that this would require some more training of your team members. But this would also give you more services that you can provide, and the key additional service is that process mapping of new processes or full implementations of a new Kneat application to a customer. So the key there is the addition of a super user, 2 super users onto your team to become an implementation partner. All the same things apply about referrals, and but your just services are actually increased over a platform partner in some ways. In other ways, they're decreased because you don't have your own instance, which means you can't provide services through your own instance. That's where you see the owned instance part is marked here, because the assumption is this is just an implementation partner and not implementation and a platform partner. So there is no internal instance. But you can see here there's a lot of revenue opportunities, and the biggest one is the implementation services, the process mapping side of the services. Okay, so what does it mean, or how do you become a partner, and what are the benefits? So again, the services get increased, so it's a full range of services that can be provided. Same with the platform partner, you get the co-marketing assets and co-marketing activities. Release notes is pretty much the same, but it's really the services and the capability has increased over the platform partner. It's not that an implementation partner is higher level than a platform partner, just has to do with what can be provided by that partner. We will work closely with both partners because we feel that these are strategic partners at this level are strategic to us, and we want to make sure we get the most value out of the partnership. So to become an implementation partner, you do need a minimum 2 Kneat Academy super users. And then there's a partner agreement with a subcontractor clause, and that would have to be maintained over the years to maintain the status of a implementation partner class. And then again, go back to that positive customer feedback, which is always important to, I know, for your company and for ours as well. So this is maybe a new one. You might not have heard about this one, or maybe you have, but didn't know much about it. We would call it technology partner. And this would be a company that has their own product. It could be a software product, it could be a device, or device with software, or whatever it might be. But the idea is this would be something that we would integrate with our Kneat instance. Now, they could own their own Kneat instance or not, but the idea is this technology would work well with the Kneat product to bring more value to our customers. So really, it's about integration in this case, and so it's a slightly different way of looking at a partnership. But that's what we call a technology partner, would be a company with their own product to sell. And now they could get training and like the instance if they feel that it's valuable to them. But that is what we call the technology partner class. So much like the other partner classes, there's the opportunity for referrals, the co-marketing. Probably the only difference here, or the main difference between a technology partner and a platform or an implementation partner, is the ongoing expert support from the Kneat product team. So this is where the integration comes into play, and it may require us to build certain product features and or connections for integration. So that's where we would increase our connection with this type of partner. But again, we would look for doing the co-marketing and sales type activities. So to become a technology partner, obviously you have to have a device that we find is strategic for Kneat, but they also have to sign contracts, right, and keep those contracts current, and one being the technology partner contract, which is a new contract that we're implementing to make sure that the two companies, because we're sharing a lot of proprietary information, that we're both protected from each other's knowledge, right, or understandings. So last one is the class is a knowledge partner. And this partner would be like industry associations, publications, training organizations, that kind of thing. So where would be paid or unpaid sponsorships, maybe advertising. These could be anything from conferences to other events that we would work with this partner with. And this really is focused only on marketing activities. There's not a lot of other connection between Kneat and this kind of organization, but the idea is we want to make sure that we do have partners to share knowledge and hopefully promote Kneat from an educational point of view, and get an industry understanding what it's about, to what Kneat's all about, and what is digital validation, and so on. So the benefits again are going to be similar, but maybe not so many as the ones previously. But a knowledge partner would have preferential allocation of Kneat marketing budget over maybe other ones that aren't our partners. And then we have a database of a lot of contacts. There are 30,000 contacts in our database. So just be able to help share and communicate out Kneat's value through this partner. Non-disclosure agreement is really the only requirement here. But if we start sharing data, we would have to have a data processing agreement to make sure that the data is handled properly, and that any customer information and any proprietary information on our database is not shared or disclosed outside the agreed upon terms. Okay, so specializations are definitely a new thing. It may not be technically new if you might have some of these specializations, but the idea is that we've categorized them and made them a very specific thing in the Kneat Partner Program. And basically they're available to the platform and implementation partners only at this time. And basically there are two. There's a program specialization and an academy specialization. The platform partner is the only one that can hold both, and the one that can be held by a platform partner is the program specialization. The academy one is not specific to owning licenses, but the program one is. So that's why it's limited to platform partners only. So let's take a look at the program specialization first to see what it's all about. But basically, this is where a partner can build its own off-the-shelf validation or any work process. Technically, it doesn't have to be validation work process, but you can create all the templates, the workflows, SOPs, and then that could be packaged as a product. And then when we do that, then we can sell that product to multiple customers, and it really gives value to the customers because one, they may not have that program well defined or defined at all, and this would give them a predefined, well-defined work process that they can implement very quickly into their organization. And this is limited to platform partners only, but it has to do with controlling and updating this. We call it the golden database, but it's a way of maintaining that. So it's a great opportunity to do if you feel that it's something to invest your time and efforts in. But this would be, you know, would take time to build and then get approved by Kneat prior to selling and implementing the work process to our customers or your own customers. So revenue opportunities is the package itself, right, and being able to sell the work multiple times. So create once, sell many. So that's kind of the idea here. And, you know, that would be your revenue opportunity, additional opportunity over a platform partner. So the benefits really is being able to sell that and being, you know, known to have your own package, which is a good advertising for your company, and also getting the revenues from it. To add this specialization, obviously you have to be a platform partner to begin with, which means you have to meet the platform partner requirements, which are the ones listed below. But in addition to that, you have to have at least one program pack or work process approved by Kneat to have that requirement met. And then maintaining it, obviously we have to keep your platform partner status and to continue to have that program pack available and or add additional program packs. Now, hopefully this will in the future become a little bit simpler with how we create, but at the moment it is a database that you do have to create and maintain separate from your instance. Academy specialist, so this has to do with training. So this would really be about a partner that looking to do, like be a master trainer within the Kneat Academy. We do have some already that have that level of certification. And you know, this would be another service or a revenue source, and you can be authorized up to Power Level 2 training. So the end user, Power Level 1 and Power Level 2 are the trainings that we focus on with our master trainers. End user, because we have the e-learning, tends to be only done for language requirements. So if it's going to be done in German, French, Italian, or something like that, then we do have some of our partners or master trainers that can speak those languages to give that training, as opposed to taking the e-learning, which is just in English at the moment. So revenue opportunities would be the training itself. Could be your customer or Kneat's customer, and depending on the level that your master trainers are certified to, they can provide that training directly or through Kneat, you know, as a service revenue or service provided. Okay, so I mean the benefits are pretty straightforward. Is being able to have more services and also get your name out there as a Kneat expert and a Kneat trainer. And to become a specialist, you do have to be a Power Level 2 to begin with at minimum, and then complete the Master Trainer Apprenticeship, which is basically a course as well as performing at minimum 2 trainings, which I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about that in more detail in a second. But you'd have to pass that course and then maintain that over on an annual basis to maintain the specialization. So this is what I was kind of getting into, is the master trainer. You have to be Power Level 2, trainer course, and then perform a minimum 2 trainings being evaluated by a master trainer at Kneat. And then, for example, if you only got trained on end user or evaluated on end user, then you would only be able to train at end user level. You'd have to do Power Level 2, Power Level 1, and Power Level 2 to get those certifications as well. Okay, so when you become a partner, if you notice, we don't necessarily, we only have the 4 partner classes, but we want to give ways of becoming a partner and then progressing when you become a partner. And then we want to make it flexible enough that you can choose what you want to add and what you don't want to add. So if you join as a partner platform or an implementation partner, you can always work to the other one and or add the specialties, which I'll kind of give you a graphical representation of that in a moment. But you can expand your capabilities as you feel is important to you and how much effort and investment you want to put into the partner program. And really, we are trying to align the partner program with the amount of investment you make and the effort you put in we want you to get at least the value back from that, if not more value out of the partner program than you put into it. And that's why we made a lot of these changes recently. So if you entered as or you became a platform partner, you can add both specialization or one of the specializations right from that platform partner. And if because you have already Power Level 2 users, you could make them super users. And in that case, you could become an implementation partner with a platform. So you would be able to offer all the services that you can have with a Kneat product, and it wouldn't be limited. And you can choose, well, yeah, obviously you choose how fast you want to take this process, but it is open to growth. And then the next one is implementation partner. If you started there, you can always add platform, but you'd only be able to add this program specialization as long as you had the platform licenses purchased. Okay, and then the same thing goes, you'd have to have your super users, but then it'd be easy to become a platform partner if you just bought the licenses. So I know one of the questions, especially if you're an existing partner, is what's changed and what does that mean to me? So a little bit maybe redundant here, but I just want to make sure the clarity is we just started this. We had our program, and a lot of you have been through that program, but things have changed. We're really trying to make the program more robust and really get the value to our customers, which then is going to drive the growth, and then which means more opportunities for our partners. And we want to also balance the effort put into the partner program and the value the partner gets out of the program, and making sure that the partners that are really putting in a lot of effort get the value and get recognized for that effort that they put in. So if you're, I'm going to start with a legacy partner, service partner. So you realize that there was no service partner listed in our new program. So that is one major change of from our partner program from the past to now. These, what we called service partners, we're going to start calling service providers. They will still be listed on our website. That's not changing. It's just really the change is going to be the co-marketing support. We're not going to do that as going forward. But if you've already been a service partner, you just have to update your material to reflect the change and make sure you have the right information when it comes to the co-marketing side of thing, or the marketing information. So that's going to be a change to how that group works. And this group only requires, this partner company only requires the Kneat Academy. There's no other purchasings to do, or just, it's Kneat Academy up to Power Level 1. And I mentioned the website, and then also if you want, if you want to discuss moving up to a higher partner or get into one of the partner classes, then we just would work out a plan to meet the minimum requirements of that partner class, and then work a project or a plan to get you to that class. So platform partners are also affected, not very much, but really the minimum requirements have increased. I believe a lot of our platform partners already meet this requirement, so it's probably not a major change for you. It's just we are trying to increase the amount of certification to make sure we have a lot of good SMEs out there in operating your instances. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Madison to talk about the co-marketing activities.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Rick, for going through that program. I just have a few slides on some of the co-marketing activities. A key part of my role here at Kneat is to work with our platform and implementation partners by creating opportunities for awareness, lead generation, thought leadership, and networking building goals. And so as Rick kind of mentioned, with this kind of overhaul of the program and by kind of clarifying the different types of partners, it kind of allows us to focus on those partners that have put in more of an investment to work closely with us. And because of that, then we are very happy to continue to work with them on different co-marketing activities. So if you go to the next slide, this actually lists out a variety of the different co-marketing options that we can work on together. It spans multiple different channels, from content to events to social and email campaigns. And so you can kind of take a look at all those different ones listed on the slide. The other thing to note too is it does go into even more detail in that partner guide that was sent out, and we will also include that in the follow-up email. So if you want a little bit more information of what all of these different co-marketing options are, you can kind of drill down a little bit more in detail in that guide, or also feel free to always reach out to me and we can kind of have a conversation to see if maybe some of these are interesting to you and how we can kind of work together. The one other thing I did want to quickly just plug while we're on the line is you may have seen that we actually just launched our first industry thought leader conference called Validate. And so both partners and non-partners have the opportunity to sponsor that event. However, implementation and platform partners will get discounted pricing on that just because we kind of have an existing relationship. So if you would like more information about that event, also feel free to reach out to me. I'm leading that sponsorship piece. And then very last on the co-marketing side of things is once a partner has joined a part of our partnership program, we will provide a co-marketing kit. And in that, you'll see things like partner badges, which are those kind of symbols we saw earlier in the presentation that were on slides that kind of indicate if you are an implementation partner or if you have a specialization, and you can kind of use that in your own marketing material to kind of highlight that you have those skill sets. And it also then include a variety of other resources and just some co-marketing guidelines on how you can kind of position yourself as a Kneat partner. So like I said, happy to always have a conversation with any of our partners on how we can work together on any of these activities, as it's always exciting to be able to have two companies kind of sharing what they do and how they work together, and how that can benefit our mutual customers and prospects.
Okay, thank you, Madison. I'll pick back up. So if you haven't joined the partner program and you're interested in joining the partner program, the first thing we do is recommend getting the Kneat Academy training. This is our basis for our partner program. And this really gets you into the, what is Kneat all about? You learn about Kneat, it makes you a service provider, it can get your company onto the website. But then, as you saw, those requirements to become a different partner class requires Kneat Academy, so that's why it's a good starting point. So we'll work with you when you join the Kneat Academy in figuring out, is there a strategic advantage of the partnership for you and for Kneat, and can we grow together that partnership? And then we'll move through a plan to get to a partner class. So Kneat Academy is been recognized by a lot of our customers, and they do accept the Kneat certification for training, and they see it as a higher level training, since it's not just training on a work process that a lot of our customers train on. It is a true training on the features and functions and in how to build a digital validation as opposed to just a paper and glass type solution. So it is recognized as a good certification to have, and hopefully give you value for the training that you get. So this is just an outline of all the training that we have. I mean, I guess there's an additional one, which is the administrator, but this is the core one. So end user through super user. Some of these, this is an online course. They're all online, but this is a self-directed course, and the others are classroom with instructor-led, and most of our classes are even end user, because even being online, there is some hands-on of the product and using the product. So it's not just listening to someone talk about the product. It's actually gives you a chance to play with everything and really learn how it works. And super user is really an apprenticeship and on-the-job type training. So we'll have a project together, and that person going through the super user training will be evaluated by our process engineers. This is our team. Myself, I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Kneat, and Madison introduced herself. And the two other team members we have is Paul Smith and Priscilla. They both have joined the team recently as partner success managers, and we will be covering, Paul is more on the European side, and Priscilla is going to be on the US and North America side, but we'll be there to help the partners navigate the partner program and also get the most value out of their partnership. Again, we're dedicated to building a relationship and and getting benefit from both companies. And we do this because we find it's a benefit to Kneat, and hopefully you find it's a benefit for your company as well. Here's a little bit about, you can always go to our website about the partner program and request. We got a phone number there if you want to use that. Not many people use phones anymore, I guess, but we do have partners at Kneat.com if you want to get some more information, or you can go to the website and select Become a Partner and follow that process, and we will have somebody be in contact with you to get the process started. So that's all we have for today. So we're going to open up for some questions. And I see that somebody has written some questions. So the first question I got is about licenses, the platform per year. So I'm gonna have to refer you to the salespeople. So I definitely we can get you that information. I'm assuming we have your email, but you're asking about 5 licenses, platform per year. We do have a rate for our partners. It is a reduced rate over what we charge our customers. But if I told you a price, I might get myself in trouble. So
the other thing too, Rick, to note, I think one of the questions was around if they actually need 5 software licenses, but I just wanted to clarify for that question was that it's not 5 software licenses, it's the 5 trained power user level 2 people. So to be able to have that platform partner designation, not only do you need to purchase a platform instance, but you also actually need those skilled Kneat power user level 2 people as well.
Fair, and we do have but we do, I guess we do have a minimum of 5 licenses, which for 5 concurrent licenses, and
right,
5 times the account, so that'd be 25 accounts. So, but we can get you pricing on the licenses. And the same question, a new question, but implementation, no software license are required for the implementation partnership or class of partnership. It is, the Kneat Academy stuff is there for the super user. And what says, what are the time requirements and costs associated with super user? So, okay, so yeah, no licenses for implementation partner. The cost for getting a super user is going to go through, you have Kneat Academy end user, which is $350 per trainee. Then you have Power Level 1, which is $450 per trainee. Power Level 2, which is $1,000, and then Super User is not a cost. It actually, if you work through Kneat on a project, we actually pay a rate to your person to do that project, and then they get the training for that project, through that project. A lot of our partners have given us discounts on some of that rate just because it is a training, but it's not we don't charge a fee for the training, and we actually pay the individual to do the work.
It's almost like an apprenticeship in a way.
Correct, yeah. But we're not going to make you work a project for free. That wouldn't be very fair, would it? So, got another one here. What are the trainer hours time requirements for train the trainer? So train the trainer is a 4-hour class. The cost to become a master trainer is $2,500 US dollars. I'm sorry, make sure I say that. Can't assume everybody's in US dollars. And so the class is 4 hours, and then to give the class, so let's say you want to be a master trainer for Power User Level 1, you would have to give 2 of those, so that those are both 8-hour courses, so a minimum of 16 hours, but you would be paid for the training that you give, or if you want to give it internally to your own people, you might not get paid for it, but the idea is it would, at least get you trained individuals within your organization for no cost. We do charge a fee after this training once you become a master trainer when you use our program, because it allows us to cover the cost of the application that's used during the training, as well as all the administration to get that training up and running. And it's a one-time, like it's a $500, $550, I think it is, for a class. So you should be able to, get paid well or charge more for that class than the cost of the application. Okay, then I got another one here. And when we have multiple workspaces in a system for a different client, if we are planning to use, yes, yeah. So Kneat allows you to have as many work spaces as you want. It doesn't stop you. I don't think we have a limitation on that, or at least we haven't reached a limitation on that yet. But one thing I would say about if you're using your internal instance, you do need to think about when clients are in there, how much access and permissions you give them, because if they can dig around in the kind of the background and the templates, they might be able to figure out who your other clients are. And then if you give them access to reports, they could run a report to tell them who's in the system. So we just need to think about what to control, what you allow them to have, but definitely you can have a workspace per client. And that way you're using all your templates and not have to build every time you have a new customer. Okay, I hope that answers that question. For service-based organizations, you recommend concurrent-based model or named? That's a good question. I think it depends. We find that some of the name-based can be expensive, especially if you get into a larger number of licenses. But I'm thinking, I always done it when I was on the other side of the fence before I joined Kneat. We did concurrent. We found it was easier to control than named, especially with all our customers. And a lot of our customers were not heavy users because they were just review and approvers. So they weren't in the application for long, if they were in it much at all, right? So we did the concurrent type licenses, and that was a cheaper option for us. But definitely what I would recommend is to go that route, or if you want to get the platform, then let's discuss the options and kind of go through some scenarios, and you can see what's more cost effective for you and how you plan on using it. But I would say, yeah, concurrent model is probably the better model. I have another one here. Because we are currently a platform partner, but have less than the 5, probably 2, can we apply to the implementation partner to? Okay, I think I got your question here. So yeah, I didn't mention this, but that's a good point you brought up. If you're already a partner or listed as a platform partner or an implementation partner, and you don't meet the new requirements at this moment, don't worry. We'll work with you to get to that level. Obviously, this would be just to get more trainings done, and it wouldn't be hard to do. But once you got these power level 2s, if I think I understand your question properly, and you wanted to get 2 super users, then yeah, we would take a look at the 5 that you have, or how many ever you have in your organization, and we'll look for the ones that you think are the best and the ones you want to go to super user, and then we would make a plan on how to get them there. If you're a platform partner, we should take a look on how you built your own work process, and that we may be able to use that as one of your 2 projects for your super user, or for one of your super users. So I think that answers part 1 of your question. Now, part 2 looks like support a client in their day-to-day operations using Kneat own our sandbox and able to map. Let me make sure this is cut off. I'll make sure I got the whole thing. Set up and map a new process. So yeah, with the super users, you would be able to help customers deploy or implement new work processes and do the process mapping, because you would have been trained in Power Level 2, and then in the apprenticeship, you would have gone through 2 projects at least to be able to to do the process mapping. So I think if I'm understanding your question right, you could map. I think if it's meaning to map it out in your own sandbox, absolutely, you can build the whole process for them, demonstrate it to them in your own sandbox, and then implement it in their work, in their instance of Kneat. Absolutely, that would be probably a good idea. Before you start messing with production environments, it's good to kind of lay out your whole thought process and make sure the work process is is performing the way you think. Okay. I think I got one more here. What is the minimum requirement for name-based? I mean, how many minimal licenses required? I don't know. We'll have to get you an answer to that one. I've never asked that question to the salespeople. I know it's 5 for concurrent. I don't know what it is for name-based, but we can get you that answer hopefully very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We can follow up afterwards.
So that's all the questions I had on the list here. If anybody has anything else, go ahead and hop it in, but I think we're pretty much right at time. I think we did an amazing job just to make sure we're getting, there's a lot of information here. I'm sorry about our webcams or the webinar software wouldn't let us use our webcam, so apologize for that. But I probably have met a lot of you in the past, and if I haven't, I look forward to meeting you in the future. And everybody I've met in the past, welcome and thanks for joining us. And thanks everyone for being here, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rick. As mentioned at the top of the program, the webinar was recorded today. So like I said, you'll get an email early next week. It'll have the slides, the recording, and that platform guide again that you would have received earlier. Thank you everyone so much for joining today. And Rick, thank you for the detailed overview of the program and going through everything that has changed and all the exciting updates that we have here. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day, and we will see you on the next Kneat webinar. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.